Directions. There are two sets of directions. For cardinal directions, east, west, south, and north. 6 relative directions, up, down, front, back, left, and right. The cardinal directions are the directions relevant in the Qibla issue. They are fixed, unshifting, and do not vary depending on one's personal bearings. Earth's shape does not alter them, and no terrain detours them. Therefore, north is north whether underground, overground, in the sky, at sea, or even under the sea. Have no mistake. The curvature of the ground has no influence on the cardinal directions. The surface and shape of the Earth have nothing to do with the directions. This is why south in Alaska is the same direction as south in Australia, and east on a mountain top is the same direction as east in an underground cavern. West in the Eastern world is the same direction as west in the Western world, and in the Northern and Southern world. If that is clear, and if you know how to read any map, then you know for sure that a person who faces northeast, because the Earth is not flat, actually has no idea what he is talking about. Do not be duped or second-guess your own intelligence because he is an imam or has a PhD. The relative directions are relative because what is in front of one person may be behind another. Therefore, east, a fixed, cardinal direction, may be to one person's right, but to another's left, since right and left are relative. These 6 relative directions are not the directions sought for the Qibla. Anyone should agree that cardinal directions are fixed and that it is the relative directions that vary, or else he would be denying reality, and further discussion would be futile. Some people who face northeast in USA and Canada disagree with this. They are confused, believing that cardinal directions are relative. Why else would they put a string over a globe, thinking that this is how to use a globe? Did they learn that method in middle school or at the university level? They have made ignorance a scholastic standard. And let us establish that directions are physically confirmed and existing, not mere concepts without actual reality. One can simply point, or even look in a direction, thereby confirming it. In fact, if a person faces east, north is to his left, west is behind him, and south is to his right. Therefore, if he faces south, north is behind him, east is to his left and west is to his right. This used to be common knowledge. One mistake of northeasters is mixing these two sets of directions, the relative and the cardinal. The result of that mixture is that despite that in the real, physical world in which we live, Mecca is still south of the southernmost USA, and they know that, their fallacy is to say. If one embarks on a journey going northeast, then stayed on a straight course going forward, without going right or left, he will reach Mecca without turning, although it is southeast in terms of bearing, not direction.
They are, unfortunately, so ignorant about how to read a map that they do not realize that the string that they put over the globe turns left and right. How could they read any map and not know what represents a right or left turn? In this case, they fool themselves by looking at their string with an aerial, bird's-eye view, so that the string looks straight by looking down at it from overhead. We will come back to this with diagrams, God willing. And concerning their saying, it is southeast in terms of bearing, not direction, those words are mere fluff to make their contradiction obscure.
Do you have to plot a course to face the Qibla? Only if you face northeast in North America. Otherwise, the fact that one can face a direction without plotting a course or comparing his prayer to an airplane flight is of the utmost importance. Had one traveled or moved, things that were in front of him become behind him, and what was on his right or left go to the other side, but nothing will change those fixed cardinal directions. It is obvious that one can easily face directions without concerning himself with traveling or moving. For the Qibla, we want a cardinal direction, not a shape, nor a route, nor a motion movement, nor an arc, nor a distance. None of these 5 things matter. Nor is the Qibla an advanced math problem. This is why the correct way to pray an obligatory or optional prayer in a moving vehicle, like a boat, plane, or train, is to not turn with the vehicle. You must maintain your prayer direction. Turn yourselves towards its shatter direction. Do not mix praying in a moving vehicle with the specific case of praying an optional prayer while riding upon the back of an animal. In that case, you make your takbir in the direction of the Kaaba, then turn your animal in the direction of your destination, and that becomes your Qibla.